Welcome to Comic Book Creation Live. We are working on Albatross Junction tonight. I am Space Windu. I'm Anthony. And if I could just adjust my monitor. I am going to be drawing page 26 and maybe some of page 25. But I'll be starting page 26 basically from nothing for the first issue of Albatross Junction, which is a story that takes place like way in the future, and it's about big monsters attacking. It's about aliens. It's about political stuff here on Earth and wars and different factions and how we survive in a place where there is no sun. Check out a little bumper that Kevin made for this, and I'm going to switch cameras. If I could get a good angle on my camera, that would be a lot better. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I actually need to do the thumbnails for this page, and I'm going to refer to my script just to make sure I get it right. Okay, what do we got here? Page 26 of my story. Oh, great. I have to approve this to show. Come on. Yes, I want Google Chrome. Okay. Oh my Lord. Oh no, that's not cool. Don't tell me I can't share this screen. All right, well, that is odd. That's a shitty problem. Yeah, I just upgraded my computer and now it's not allowing me to share the screen unless I restart Google Chrome. Now, how do you do that when you're already doing a live show? I have no idea. But okay, well, we won't share the screen right now. But basically, the script, I have it up on my screen. So I have a character here in the previous page that I will need to draw again here. That's Bernadette Hildebrand. She's one of the astronauts that's trying to fix the solar satellite up in space above Pike Berg, which is a place in our future world, which is like a really crummy place to be. So they have no sunlight, so they're up there trying to fix stuff. And let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. We got that part with that. Okay. I have to have her land near Fenkarth, who's another astronaut. It's one of the things I have to plan in, and she is inspecting a secondary access clamp cover because this guy can't turn that. This is a partly unfinished page here, page 25. Must have been floating debris hit this. It's destroyed. Both Hildebrand and Fenkar try to turn the wheel. Okay. Change of plans. Climb to the other side of the satellite and find the opposite. And then at that moment, in panel 3, because it's panel 1, 2, 3, at that moment, Fenkarth is hit with space debris and killed. Okay, panel 5 through 8. Oh, this is a kind of a complicated one. This is interesting. To kill a couple people on this page. Yeah, we kind of go the distance with page 26. All right, I got an idea. I've got an idea here. Okay. Look who we have here. We have Mundo in the house. What's going on, Mundo?
You got Yoda holding
your
my beer
Yoda.
for me, buddy.
You
Yeah,
got Yoda holding your beer. Nice.
Yeah.
How are you tonight?
Hanging in there, dude. Monday was a pretty bad day, dude. Couldn't get out of bed. My back locked up on me.
Oh no.
It was horrible, man. Horrible. Just a lot of pain all day long.
What do you do in that case? You gotta move, or you gotta take a pill or something?
Well, I just took a couple of Tylenol and moved around a little bit, do some stretches, but I was in bed for about 4 hours, man. Had to have my girls kind of help me get out of bed a little bit, and just couldn't move around too much. Yeah, I mean, it was just too painful. And same for Tuesday, but I went to work on Tuesday and dealt with the pain. A little bit better. Today is a little bit better, but still painful, you know. But when my back acts up like that, it is what it is.
That's rough, man.
Just gotta deal with it, man. Just gotta deal with it. How about you guys?
Kevin's not here yet. I'm doing well though. No complaints.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. That's good. Man, Matthew's got really great on that stuff, man.
On the trailer, right?
Yeah. That was just sick, dude.
I think he's almost done with it too.
Yeah. I mean, just an excellent job. Excellent. You know, I got a really, really good buddy of mine, man, named Jesse Trevino. He's into Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. And he's an ex-coworker of mine. He went to a different job and is doing well with his family and everything. You know, super cool, man. And he is he's finally doing what makes him happy. He's spending more time with the family, loving it, you know.
Awesome.
And but of course, he also loves Green Lantern, you know, Green Lantern and Dragon Ball Z, and see if maybe, you know, I can kind of get him into checking this out a little bit.
Nice. Diamond Dragons, right?
So yeah. Well, Diamond Dragons, but also Albatross, because he's like us, man. He likes comic books and stuff. So, Jesse, if you're watching this, man, I hope you're having a good night, dude. And so we'll see. Haven't talked to him in a couple of days. And what are you working on there right now?
I'm doing some thumbnails for page 26. So page 25 was this one. This one's still not done yet. but
Mhm.
I have an idea for these like page 26 thumbnails. So I'm gonna, maybe get going on page 26 and then kind of do the detail on both of them at the same time.
Cool. Yeah, I was watching that thing earlier with you and Jedi Arms Dealer, man. That's interesting as hell.
Yeah, all that smooth swing stuff, right?
Yeah. Dude,
Kev,
I had no
Kev.
idea. Kevin,
What up, man?
what's up?
What up? What's happening?
What up?
Here he is. Here he is.
What's the good?
The man, the myth, the legend.
Jesus
Kevin!
Christ, man. What's the good word? Oh, I came in and heard Jedi Arms Dealer.
There was just a video I was on earlier that Mundo saw.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. What's the word though? What are you working on? Yo, Anna, I need you to send me those pages again, because my text messages get erased after 30 days if I don't download them.
What, are you in some kind of prison over there?
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I
the
think I'm
paint
ready. I think I'm ready.
It's the paint prison.
The prison of paint, yo.
Yeah, but what about the pages that like you got to make like 3 that are in a row, all finished? Is that finished? Like them?
Hell no. Hell no, that's not finished. Let me see. Let me see what the hell we got here.
Yeah, this is what he thinks.
Oh shit. I think it's pretty dope.
Yeah, he agrees. He likes it.
Dope.
He likes it. He likes it. Nah, Jesse, my buddy, man, he's the one that gave this to me at last Christmas, man. It was pretty cool.
Is that when he gave you his heart?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yo, cheers,
Nah, dude,
man.
and I got,
Cheers.
and I it was cool, man. We had a good time because I love my coworkers too. My coworkers are pretty badass. All them ladies, man, we take care of each other. They take care of me. You know, shout out to all my coworkers.
Yo, did you shout out Matt yet, man? That trailer's coming together nice.
Isn't that great?
We were just talking about it right before you came on too.
That shit is looking pretty crazy. And it was fast as hell too.
Oh yeah, man. Matthew Corrado, man. Can't go wrong.
Dude is crazy. Yeah, he's nuts.
Yeah,
He's a nut.
but you know, he's a genius.
He's no joke.
Amadeus.
Yo, Ed. Oh, let me share my screen. Hold up. Amadeus. Yo, I spoke to my boy Val, man. He said he's down to come on the show probably next week.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Oh, cool.
Yes, my boy lives in Texas.
Oh, here we go. I almost couldn't find my pictures in my iPad here. Okay, I found them.
Cool.
I'm like, okay, let's see. Okay, like the pages where there was like drawers in the shot.
Drawers in the shot?
That like row of drawers that was in the way. Tell me if these start to come in.
Oh, something just came in. Something just came in. Oh, here we go.
You're just about to have information overload. No, actually, that page you already did, so you can delete that next one.
Yeah. So, if I do this page, would this be the third page in the sequence? Yo, he smacks his head off, bro.
Ooh.
No, but we can't show like. Don't do a sequence that's too gory. We can't display that.
No.
Like
That's
we'll
a cheat code.
We'll get like. You don't want any trouble.
No trouble. Okay, so how about the double page spread when they're flying in, and then when isn't the page after when they're walking down the corridor with the yellow background?
Yeah, totally. I think you had already finished, like the one where the sunlight is coming in the Concordia. You were like really close on that one. The last time we did a show, and I think you were coloring in like the airport area on the top. So then right after that is that 2-page spread. Like, so those 3 pages
But-
would be enough for like a
What-
little preview probably. And
Is
then
it,
the
isn't
one
that 4
after
pages
that-
though? Yeah, it's 4 pages that we have in sequence. No, it's when
Yeah.
the one I was doing
I
last
thought-
time with the Concordia, then the double page spread with it swooping, and then the page when he's looking at the hologram of the Dybbuk on his arm.
That's
No,
what
I
thought.
think the one that comes right after the 2-page spread is the one that I think you did color it fully. It's it's the one that you didn't understand how I drew the building. They were crouching down
Oh,
by
yeah,
the
yeah,
building,
this
like
one,
trying to get in.
this one. Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, so I gotta I don't have much left on this one.
Well, you're moving along pretty fast.
It feels real slow, man. It feels slow as hell. It
Well, I
feels
mean, that's
scary
cool.
slow.
Scary slow?
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
I think we
don't
just
know.
got a pretty good jump because I completed writing on issue number 2.
So I'm gonna start thumbnailing that because like I'm getting cut open on August 7th, man.
Ooh.
August 7th.
That's when you give birth.
Yeah, man. So
Your
That's gonna be
cesarean
rough.
is August 7th. Okay.
that's gonna be
It's
rough.
got to be twins.
bro.
It's got to be twins, right?
Oh, let me tell you something. I'd rather have the operation than another set of twins.
Hold your
I'd rather
ears,
have
kids.
3 more of these operations than another set of twins.
Hold your ears, kids. Daddy's talking bad about you.
Crazy, man. Crazy. All right, so I'm gonna I've been avoiding doing this whole part on Dobbs's
Robot
I'm avoiding that
style.
to death. That,
It's,
I'm not.
it's,
I
and
don't have a
it's
clear
just it's
picture of it.
a real easy fix. You know, it's an easy fucking fix.
Say what you said again because you went robot.
Oh, I said it's a real easy fix. It's a really fucking easy fix.
Not that, Kevin.
No, I'm saying that apparatus you drew for Dobbs with all
Oh, yeah.
like the that machine that he has.
Oh, you were avoiding that part of it?
Hell yeah, because it's so
That's
intricate.
fun.
I don't really know how to. I don't know how that looks. It's not clear in my head, so I'm just gonna play with it now.
Imagine like electronics were like alive and they were like the wires and all the circuitry was like creeping around, like crawling in thin air. That's kind of what it's like. Like it's gonna creep around him to form something.
All right.
And when it's like reaching, maybe like the wires is what you see, and then there's some circuitry and some, it's like the wires reach. That's like the elasticity of it and whatever.
And I want to be consistent and have that orb kind of like around him in this one too. I didn't add that before. All right.
Definitely be consistent with those orbs.
It's fire.
Like the orbs are like the future version of those.
Fire. All right. All right.
That's cool like that.
That's my joint.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
I can't believe we could have 100 megabytes on that, Kev. I was so surprised. Sorry about that.
100
Probably
megabytes.
limited you back in the day.
It's all good.
I limited myself on some of these clips I was making. I was like, oh crap, I got to keep it to 10 megabytes. Now I find out it can have 100.
It's crazy.
You were cutting yourself short, Ant?
Yeah, I was like trying to like rob these videos of all their DPI or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, Kev, look at this little
Yo.
thing I made today. I'm gonna play this little clip.
Yeah, hell yeah.
you like my TriStar animation?
I like, yeah, that shit is dope. The
Yeah, not
Like
bad.
I added
shit.
the Luke bit.
yo, hold on, I'll be right back. Pop Dukes is calling me.
Okay.
Oh. That's cool. That's cool. I like the way you had Luke going and looking into the distance.
And he sees the TriStar.
The 3 moons. Yeah. TriStar. That just sounds so cool, man. You just say it the way it is, TriStar.
I think it's from
met-
Zelda, right? Isn't he after the TriStar in Zelda?
Yeah.
Or is that his weapon or something? I forget.
I don't know. I haven't played it in a very long time. But if you slow it down, TriStar. Dude, that'd be kind of killer on another little trailer like that. Introducing Space Windu and the TriStar.
Be like Voltron.
Yeah.
We can like cut an entire like building in half with the TriStar. Remember, like Voltron used to cut everything in half with his sword, no matter how big it was.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that would be cool, man. Get Voltron. You know when he's pulling out the sword, it's a laser, and then it turns into the sword.
Yeah, yeah.
You can try to get that little animation going like that. And
Oh, yeah.
Instead of the sword
It's a
come out, you got the
lightsaber in there.
TriStar. Yeah, the TriStar.
That's sick. I might do that.
Dude, that would be so cool. That would be a neat little way to get the TriStar video out like that,
Mm-hmm.
That would be cool. But I like the, don't get me wrong, I like the way you're doing it right now. I just think that would be added a little extra flair to it.
Yeah, whenever you add Voltron, you always come out with something better.
Did you have Voltron growing up?
Yeah, like I had like 2 of the metal lions, and then my best friend had like all the lions.
I had all the lions. As a matter of
then,
fact,
like,
I still have some.
Like I was around when like they came out with plastic lions, and then maybe I had like one of those, but I don't think I ever had the whole Voltron.
Oh yeah. Hold on just a second.
Needed the whole Voltron, man. Needed the whole Voltron. Yo, am I coming in clear now or no?
You are. Why did you get new internet? Did you finally pony up the $14?
Nah. Yo, I was editing a video and I had the whole Adobe Suite open, the iMovie open, I had everything open. I forgot to close it and
little toy box in the top of my closet. Bring it to me.
So yo, my you know how I tell you how I monitor the disk load, the hard drive load on it, the load on the CPU. It was at 70-something%. I've never seen it at 70-something%.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was slow as hell, but I closed everything now. So now all I have open is the internet.
Yeah, like my free
And,
cams alone is like 51%.
Yeah, server. Yeah, iMovie eats it. Like we were saying, though, iMovie was killing it. So I had to quit that real quick.
Crap, I have iMovie open right now.
iMovie. iMovie's a killer. iMovie. This looks insane. This looks insane. Yo, you know what I was thinking about? Like, do we have a Joker in our book? Meaning, like, just like a lighthearted jokester? We don't really have anyone like that.
The only one I was thinking of was like, there was always somebody who you said was kind of going to be like the vagrant or something outside the city wall.
Yeah,
that's the only one that comes to mind.
And we never did anything with the idea of that robot that was like security or like police at one point. He's old
Oh
software.
yeah, we have that drawing, and I think you had said that he was the only one that that I ever heard you connect with like the word joke, right?
Yeah. Like, it would be kind of funny. Like, yeah, it would be kind of like comic relief.
Oh,
He's like
is he
some
gonna come into
kind
the
of
bar?
like relic from like a bygone era type of thing.
Yeah, basically, yep.
Like he's still upholding like laws from maybe like back when like
Yeah, we never really worked that out, but there's
Yeah.
room for that.
Put him in my bar.
Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean?
if he walks into that bar, like he might get disassembled.
He might. He's gonna give out tickets.
Unless like Kev, like unless it's like so badass that like even like badass people can't kind of defeat it, so they just have to play along and like just like let it do its goofy job.
Hey, it's so annoying, but it's a killer.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, oh god, like you know, like their fun's over until he like gets what he wants, like whether it's like some lead on some kidnapping or something.
It's funny as hell. That'd be it.
It's like Mr. It's like Mr. Furley, like Mr. Furley and Three's Company.
Mr. Furley's my guy. Mr. Furley and Mr. Roper.
Yeah. Mr. Don Knotts, man. What an awesome actor.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
He played a
He was
lot of
funny
good
as hell.
parts. He played a lot of good parts. Barney Fife.
He probably
Yeah, he
touched.
was the man. He was the man.
If he was alive
He
today,
probably what?
if he was alive today, they'd probably say he touched people.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sheesh.
Long Brown.
Hey Gina, Gina's here.
Gina, what up, man? What up? Yo, Gina would willingly trick the Goblet of
how you
Fire to
doing?
be entered, man.
Hold
She
on.
would willingly what?
She said she wanted to be in the Goblet of Fire, remember? She get her name in there.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
You
sure
gotta be
I would do
You got to
it.
be at least 17 though, so it's not going to work.
Oh, that was pretty funny.
Got to get your license first, and then maybe the Goblet of Fire later.
Goblet of Fire, yo.
Yo, Kev, today I got Super Harem.
Oh, you did? You did? Did you read it at all?
It's awesome. Let me show you. Do you
Super
see it?
Harem.
Check out the way they did the cover. There's no text. It's nice and glossy.
That is nice.
No text, and then the back is like another piece of art with, you know, because like it came in a bag like sandwiched with a couple posters,
That's nice.
and I think you'd like
Oh,
the
that's
art.
cool.
It's like highly detailed, like monsters and stuff. A lot
is
of
cool.
black, a lot of line work. I think you'd like that. I'll let you borrow this. I kind of read it twice because I read the PDF and
Looks
then
dope.
I got the book.
Hey,
as
so
well.
is that how you're gonna have some of your panels like that?
Yeah, like this is cool because this is like an action scene. So you see how there's really no dialogue. So
Yeah.
we do like this is what I liked about this book. They did this like at least twice in Super Harem.
Mhm.
And the cool thing about this book is, if you like this idea, I think it's incredible. It is a dude who he doesn't have superpowers himself, but his superpower is when he has sex with a girl, she gets superpowers. Okay. But it's like bad because when she starts using them, it spawns a deadly monster that she has to fight. And
Oh
then
my
the
God.
powers run out, and it has to go back to him to have
So-
sex again to continue on fighting.
Does he give this disclaimer to them, or he just lets it happen? Is he like, listen, if we do
Not
this,
really, no.
we're gonna be
At
Wonder
least
Woman tomorrow?
so far, no. He didn't give that disclaimer, I don't think. But I don't think he
That's
wanted
so
to go out and make that happen. But what happened was he got like too drunk, and someone like spiked his drink a little bit. So he went out in the night saying, I don't even want to go out. And then he got his friend involved who said, no, you got to come out. And he said, okay, well, at least I can't hook up with anybody. And then the next thing you know is he's got his drink spiked. He's seeing visions and he's hooking up. Kev, take a look at this bit in the back. This is interesting. It says this book is number 466 of 1,000 out of a limited run that was only available to our backers on Indiegogo. That's interesting, right? So it's like, and he wrote in, so, you know, each book was printed with a blank out of 1,000, and then he wrote in. So he also signed it here.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's definitely a nice touch.
And then, Kev, it came with a couple posters. I'll show you guys one of them.
This one isn't Wenger, is it?
Yes, this is Wenger, Matt Wenger.
Oh, nice.
I love this dude. His channel's great.
When I'm done.
Okay.
I'll put his stuff in the description after we're done. But Kev, if you take a look at this, this is another guy I did the artwork for this. His name is Carl O'Rowe.
Is that the dude that did that video that you showed me by himself?
No, that dude is a different dude. If I think
that's it. I like that.
Come up with
I like that.
But this is just like that guy that you're mentioning from Star Blades. Is it Star Blazers or Star Blades? I think it's called. Carl O'Rowe here does his own drawing and inking and coloring. So he did this whole thing himself.
Yeah.
So it kind of came with these two 9x12 posters.
Yo, is something going on with my picture? Oh, that's when I was playing with the green screen.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, I was playing with the green screen.
There we go.
I saw that, but I thought you intended it. I was going to make
No, I didn't. I didn't do that on purpose. I forgot to take that off, actually. I thought I was seeing shit.
Are you guys familiar
Gina
with...
said she'd make it into the goblet.
She would. I have zero doubts. Zero doubts. None.
Would she make it through the maze?
Oh man, honestly, I don't want to go there. I guess pretty crazy. I mean, Cedric died, bro.
You can lose yourself in
Cedric.
the maze.
Are you guys familiar with Aaron Williamson from here in Texas?
No.
Here, I'll give you a little cut right here if you can see that. His card right here. And he draws all kinds of characters and stuff and custom art.
Nice.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's his card right there.
That looks like the dude from G.I. Joe, the movie.
Yeah, but it's Goro.
Goro.
He has 4 more working arms than Kevin.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't fair, man. It's not fair.
Hey, remember we were talking about Voltron, right? So here you go.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Tell Kevin.
Oh, I had. Wait.
Yeah, the original.
Is that the original? Is that the original?
Yeah, it's one of the original lions.
The ears open?
Yeah.
I don't remember it looking like that.
That's the OG one?
I thought it was like slender.
If you go like this.
That's a foot.
Oh,
He's a foot.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a...
Yeah.
He
got that slot. He got that slot in his ass because the other paw went in his ass. The Black Lion's paw went straight in his fucking ass. Hufflepuff, so I probably should have benched him. Oh man.
How long do you have to wait for the Triwizard tournament though if you're gonna go after that event? I forget, is it every 4 years or it's every something longer? I originally thought it was something like 80 years, but then I read something that I think I read that it was like more frequent than that.
Yeah, it has to be, right? It can't be every 80 years. That's like too crazy.
I think I'm getting a critical with Albatross Junction.
Here you go, Space. Woo!
Oh, he's got a tauntaun. Oh, and Luke can even crawl up its belly.
Yeah,
I thought
they
smelled bad.
That's the original tauntaun, man. I got some of the stuff around for it somewhere, but yeah.
Yeah, Gina, tell me how many years. I thought it was maybe like 80 at first, but I think it might be more like every 10 years or every 4 years or every something like that.
Thought you were a
Might be
real
like
fan,
some kind
man.
of election or something. Yeah, I'm trying to go deeper. Trying to go deeper into Potter lore. This
Nah,
start
you
looks like
don't. You
a
don't.
tattoo, Kev. That
Huh?
that looks like a tattoo. It looks like it's on skin color. Your artwork.
Oh shit.
5 years. Every 5 years, a Triwizard tournament.
Is it always the same schools or no? Or all those the only
Well,
schools?
I did read
period?
something about that too. It was like I think it was going on before there was like those other newer schools. So for a while, it was just like Hogwarts, I think, and then it became other schools, if I remember correctly.
Yo, what was the that dude that was like a star, like he was a professional Quidditch player? What was his name?
Victor Crumb.
Oh man, your brain is fucked up, bro.
Oh, and yeah, that guy with the coloring with the trailer that we liked, his name was Kyle. I'm trying to think of his last name now. Kyle.
The guy with the trail. What are you talking about?
He has the Star Blades. Is that what it's called? His comic book that we love the trailer to, that you were speaking of before.
Yeah, he's a beast, man. That kid is a beast. He said he was young too, right?
Yeah, I heard he's like 26.
Yeah, man, he's a beast.
But this guy I just showed you the artwork poster to, Carl, he is 22.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Got Mr. Han Solo here.
His campaign is out.
Oh, nice.
His campaign is called Death Sworn.
In space.
Yeah, Kev, you're getting it. You're getting it. Did you already ink that previous to today, or are you?
Yeah. No, I had that in.
Oh, that's so nice.
This dude threw in 1,537 lines in this thing.
Mundo wants to win that lightsaber, so you better hide it up. Mundo's keeping a close eye on this.
Yeah, we got that. That's a video we got to make. Explaining that.
Oh, speaking of sabers, I got an email from Electrum today, Space.
About which sabers that is that the flame? You can buy in the flame?
No, the Evo Flex. The Evo Flex.
What does that look like? Is that like a thin neck looking like a Luke style saber?
It's kind of, well, no, it's a Graflex inspired.
Yeah, Kev, for this show, I actually can't share my screen because something with that update I did, it's asking for like a security clearance, which I provided, but now it's saying you got to restart Chrome to make it happen, and we're in the middle of a show. So even if Mundo sent me some kind of link to show what he's talking about, I can't show the link.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like this whole update is kind of putting the kibosh in a bunch of functions. At least until you like go into security. I don't know.
I'll have to wait. If one of my kids comes in the garage, I can have them bring me the iPad and I can look it up.
Hold it up or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it used to be that it took so long for like an item to come out in the lightsaber world, but now there's so many, and you know, you'd be waiting for years. So I would be aware of everything that was coming out. Nowadays, there are so many things. Like I used to be aware of every Vader's Vault saber they ever made, but then they started making a lot of sabers. And so when someone says, don't you know it's the Vader's Vault, like blah, 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 I'm like, I know, I never heard of that name, you know?
Hold on. Let me see if I can. I'm going to cut the mic off. And I'm going to call the kids. Hold on just a minute.
Vader's Vault.
Where did I put my rulers? I put my stuff like away, and then I can't find it anymore.
I put the cocky duty rulers on the cocky duty table, and they're not there.
Oh,
Yo.
Kev, another thing. I found out something about my microphone. Remember that microphone that I ditched?
Yeah.
I think I started to learn how it works. Like maybe if I set it up like the real way that it works. Did you give me a tip on that, or did I kind of think of it on my own? I was like, maybe.
I don't remember. Don't even recall. Yo, I told Gina I'm spearheading an effort to bring back Dang Gone. The Dang Gone microphone don't work.
What about Dang Nabbit?
Dang Nabbit? I kind of like Dang Gone and just dang. Dang. Dang is good. Dang. Dang, that's
Dang
nice.
Dang is good.
Dang is legit. Dang.
Lieutenant Dang.
And
Dang.
And how is another one. And how.
Anywho.
And how. Anywho. Anywho. Oh, what is that? I just hit something. What the hell?
You just hit undo comic book. It's over.
No, like this headset comes with like I don't know what these do.
He's taking pictures.
You know what I'm saying?
The Russians.
He's taking selfies. He's taking selfies.
The Russians are coming. The Germans.
The Germans.
All right. All right, let's get busy.
Yeah, let's get serious.
Let's get the work away.
Here you go, Space. Luke is calling.
Oh, you got is that an old school figure too?
Old school figure. Yeah.
Damn, man.
Why are his nipples out?
Just for you.
Just for you, man. He knew where he was going tonight.
I've got his lightsaber somewhere. It's the little yellow one. You remember how they would come with the little yellow one? I think this one has got the one that doesn't retract in and out, but if you have one that's like him that retracts in and out or is supposed to kind of like go in and out of the hilt, that's worth some money.
You'll buy it off eBay from him?
They probably, if I had it, they'd probably buy it off me.
Put down your Star Wars lightsabers or join me. Go! I got it! Me too! Zap, zap, zap!
Then got little Guido too, man. Poor little Guido's gonna get shot later.
Holy shit. You got some stuff, man.
He doesn't have his clothes on either.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
He's not
His
even
name is
armed in
Guido?
your version of the film. Greedo.
GR?
GR, like he's greedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Guido.
At least you said Guido. I'm about to say, damn. It's kind of harsh.
I got a few more things in the bag. I think I got some a little rare here, but I don't know how. This is like a uncolored stormtrooper here, dude. Look, I think.
Oh, that's like the hawk.
I remember that.
These were like
Yeah, you got the whole Hoth scene going on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mundo, you got hooked up when you were 5 years old.
Yeah, a little bit.
And you kept it too.
Yeah, little bit of them.
Flood
Little bit
came
of them.
through Kevin's house and took all his comic books.
Took all
Oh,
my
look
shit.
at this one. Is this the guy?
Inspiration. Yeah, this is Jabba's.
Oh, right.
area.
He's like putting on the restraining bolts to him or something like that.
Yeah.
Fit him with a restraining bolt. He will do well in the Excellency's main chamber.
You'll soon learn some manners.
You'll soon learn some respect.
Is that what that dude said?
Yeah. Fit him with a restraining bolt.
And then one of the Voltron characters.
You got Lance.
Oh, the red one.
Is that Keith? That's Keith.
Keith.
That's Chief Keith.
Yep.
300. So,
And I got some droids. I got some droids too, but they're all kind of messed up. So. Like R2 is like really bad, man. My R2, I don't know how, but got totally screwed.
I had that. I had that on too. Yeah, I remember having that. That was the best.
And then the red. Remember how red has a bad motivator? Red has a bad motivator.
Thank God he did.
Yes, thank God he did. So there's some inspiration for you guys right there.
Thank you.
Blast
Sir.
from the past. Blast from the past.
All I want to see now is like a honeycomb hideout commercial after that.
I got some of my Hot Wheels stuff, man. My Hot Wheels stuff. My Hot Wheels stuff I'm gonna pass on to my nephew.
I want to buy one of those old school tracks, but they're expensive as hell now, man. Like,
oh yeah,
like ridiculous amounts of money. I had no clue.
So what color are you putting in there right now?
Talk to me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to give this thing some depth. So I figure if I lay some blacks in underneath what I feel is in on top, it'll give it some pop. That rhyme.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel if I put some black underneath what's on top, it'll give it some pop.
Black and pop. Black and pop.
Sure enough.
If you plant the right seeds, you'll have an excellent crop.
You have an excellent crop.
Oh, speaking of
they
show
can't
enough,
stop or clean up.
Have y'all checked out Cameo? And like all the celebrities are going to Cameo, so now
Cam
you
Girls?
can get Cameo.
Oh, Cam Girls 91?
Camp Girls
91. No, 99 Camp Girls. Yeah.
Jesus.
All the celebrities are doing that personalized, like happy birthday or talk to you for a few minutes or whatever.
What?
As a prize or for a fee?
No, for a fee. Like some of them are.
That's how bad things are getting.
Yes, like some of them 100, some of them
like fuck it. I'll talk to people. Just pay me $100.
Some are 75. You know, I mean, it's like they got all kinds of ridiculous stuff. I think like Michael Keaton went like 300.
So which ones did your daughters order?
They haven't ordered any yet. Thank goodness.
And it's called Cameo?
Cameo. Yeah.
Like, who's gonna make a cameo in your life? is that the
Dog the bounty Dog
Kev,
the bounty hunter wants
you
300
probably
bucks.
just made up a better slogan than they've got.
Sure.
Dog the bounty hunter wants 300 bucks, man.
Oh my
That ain't
god.
bad.
What the hell I gotta say to this guy? What hair
And what do you
products do
got?
you use?
I would honestly contact him if I wanted to hire him. I'd be like, listen, I only did this because I got a case for you. Here's the deal. I got someone who's 6'4". He's got an orange Nick Pat. I need him taken out. He's got a bounty of 3,000.
Need him costed.
He's currently at home drawing. If you bust down the door with a no-knock warrant, you'll get him.
A no knock. No knock warrant.
And you can say aloha.
Say aloha from Space Windu. He'll know who sent you. Space Windu
Dog the
sends
bounty
regards when you zap him with that baton.
Can't believe that dude is real.
Yeah. He's pretty good, man. He's pretty good bounty hunter. You should. I watched the show quite a bit.
Dog the bounty hunter.
I think his wife did all the work. His
Uh,
wife would tell him the address. He would just drive there.
well, actually, his wife has passed on, man.
Oh man, take it back, Ant. Remember that was fighting words. Those were fighting words when you were a kid.
Buster the road here.
How can you live with yourself?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Dang.
It's a real easy fix, man.
Yo,
Lose it, kick it, burn fat, burn fat.
Kick it.
what did Gina say? She's seen a few hilarious ones. Oh, she's up on it. She's up on it. Oh, Primal Gamer's in here. Did you guys say Primal Gamer's in here?
One
No, I didn't see him. Primal Gamer, what's going on? This stream
Primal,
will make a
what's up?
fine addition to my collection. Not as tall as I expected.
Kick it, bird fat.
Yeah, well, those like one-hit wonder type celebs were doing that all the time. It's just that now people are home, like everyone's on the internet, scouring the internet, so they're finding these people. Whereas before, everyone had a busy life. Everyone like
I would pay for it if they said what I wanted them to say. But listen,
Well, that's
now
what
say
they-
this.
like you're gonna make
Well, that's
a
what they do.
commercial
That's
from a
what they're
comic
doing.
book. You're gonna get all the Hulksters to come down and watch comic book
my
creation
God,
live.
That's hilarious.
All you Hulksters out there. You're gonna get like Hulk Hogan to say something like, "Come watch our show." Who are you gonna get, Kev?
Ric
Hulk
Flair's
would
only
probably
$350.
charge like
Ultimate Warrior.
5,000.
That dude
Ric Flair's only $350.
who charged $5,000 a word. Who? Who's only $350?
Ric Flair.
Ric Flair?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my guy. Ooh. He said, I got more cars than most of you got friends. I got a big house on the big side of town. Yo, he was the man. Ric Flair. Jesus. Nature
Yeah,
boy.
they got that all on there, man. Whew. There's like 116 pages of celebs.
That's crazy though, man. Like, that's crazy. And you're talking to them?
Well, I don't know about talk, but I know they'll send you a personalized like happy birthday and stuff like that. But I thought I did
That's
see
a little
something
sad, man.
about
It's making me sad a little bit.
I thought I did see something where you would have like a 10-minute Zoom meeting with them.
Oh Lord.
Man, and we're gonna have to get you on the eating schedule, dude. Can't keep up like that. Can't keep up like that.
The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. Space is the place.
Primal Gamer says, "See, I'm actually short, so that comment hurts."
What comment?
I said, "You're taller than what did he say? You're shorter than I expected." When they come face to face.
No.
So what are we
Primal.
drawing today? He wants to know, what are we
Primal.
drawing today?
Listen, buddy, don't worry about being short because I am short myself. I'm only 5'5", dude.
Mundo's very short-tempered. Like, you don't want to get in his way.
Short-tempered. Yeah. I'll give you the last drink on the
He only
house.
acts like a nice guy on TV.
Like, he's got 2 or 3 friends in the other room, but they all got black eyes, so he don't want them to come
Hold
out.
on, guys.
Oh, snap. That's crazy. The Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour. What did he say after space is the place?
I never watched wrestling. You crazy?
What?
I had one of them rubber toys that I used to like hold on to one of the legs, like Andre the Giant, like big rubber, like 12-inch toys. I used to just bang it on the table.
Big
Really? You
rubbery
never
12-inch
watched
toys
wrestling?
that you banged on the table, bro?
Just be hit
Take it
on
back,
other
guys.
Take it back. Take that back. Take that back.
No, but that one lasted the longest. Like that toy never broke.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something. That is a soundbite that I will be rehashing, bro. I had big rubbery toys that I banged on the table.
Bobby, I forgot to ask her for the iPad, but here's one of Aaron Williamson's drawings, man. See if you can see that.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Real nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
like
11 by 17.
a more detailed like version of like that, that X-Men cartoon. Very cool.
Yeah.
I've been watching that old school X-Men cartoon on Disney Plus.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, I've been watching that shit.
I heard it holds
It's
up.
the best.
I don't know if you told me
It's
that.
the best.
Kevin.
I mean, they got Wolverine right in the cartoon.
They did. They actually did. I mean, they portrayed him the way he should be. And, in all reality, Wolverine is short as well. He's short and stocky, but
He's
he kicks
beastly.
ass.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's not a nice guy. He's not too pleasant to be around. Doesn't crack too many jokes.
Nah, but when he does, it's funny.
It was good.
Hey, Kev, why don't you explain what you're drawing there?
Hold on.
You know what page it is?
I think-
is it like
I think
page 11
you-
or 12 or something?
You kind of designed this apparatus that Dobbs is holding. It pretty much he wears it and it can be manipulated to be pretty much any tool he needs it to be at the time, right? He can wear it as a belt when he's walking around and he's taking it off, and it can like morph into different things. It's almost like T2 the way I see it. Right?
Power of thought.
By the power
It
of
works
thought.
with thought.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like little intricate details that you added in there to kind of, I guess, show that it's like a Transformer. This good dude got a Transformer belt. He's wearing Optimus Prime on his belt.
Yeah, so you could put like any type of little lights on it with like you already started.
Oh yeah,
doing.
I'm gonna add a ton of lights on this thing. A ton.
Still to this day, one of my favorite wrestling thing is the Skyrim mod that makes the dragons into Macho Man, and it screams quotes from his matches.
No, don't say that. Are you serious?
Oh, wow.
That's real.
funny.
Can I look at the arrows?
I gotta
There's
look
so
that
many
up.
mods
I gotta
available
YouTube
for all
that.
these games. I've seen like a lot of Star Wars games where they'll do these different skins that are so funny and or just cool, like cool different lightsaber or cool character.
I gotta look that
And
up.
the funny ones I've seen in GTA are my favorite one. I think is the Flash mod, where your
Hulk is
character.
cool too.
Oh, I haven't seen that one, and unless it was a few years ago. You may have shown me that.
Yeah.
Is that
Hulk
where
is
you could
pretty
like
dope.
jump real far?
Yeah. You can smash through trains, all types of craziness. Like the subway that runs you over. If you either the subway or the train, you can run through it, blast it off the tracks. throw buses around. I mean, you're the Hulk.
Just busting everything. Hulk smash!
Go crazy. Just go nutty.
John Dobbs.
John Dobbs, Tower of Power, too sweet to be sour.
Kev, did you check out anything from
Check that
issue
everything,
2?
bro. Check that out. Oh, no. Nope. These last couple of days have been pretty rough, sir. Pretty rough. I need to check it out, though, because I tell you I'm going to start storyboarding them. And I want to run some storyboards past you, get all the ideas out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, that way, like, whenever I have, like, a 5-minute window, I'm just going to dive in. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Ant.
Yo, why was that vibrating on, like...
That's my Randy Macho Man rubber doll that I told you about. I add a little modification, just a little mod,
Wow.
little vibe mod.
Sounds pleasant. Is it stippled? Is it ribbed?
Hey, did you send Matt?
What is going on?
I think Mundo's getting served with papers on his phone right now.
I'm telling
Sheesh,
you.
Mundo.
Matt
You're loving these streets.
Matt wants to come on, man. Send him the link.
Send him the link.
Oh,
Hit him up with the link. Do you have it?
Hey, check that out.
Oh, is that it?
That's it right there.
Oh, let me get a close look at this.
nice.
Oh, it's like a Graflex? Whoa, dude.
Yeah, it's Graflex inspired.
That's really nice.
I should be getting it in about a week, man.
Actually, I think I'm going to send it to him right now.
Yo, is that really him hitting you up? Is he screaming? Space is the place.
He called me earlier. I didn't get a chance to call him back because I was like making videos and editing all day. Let me see here. It's still there. Okay.
Oh shit! It is my thing phone going crazy, dude.
Yeah, you didn't
I
know.
don't know what.
Who do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Somebody loves you.
I'm telling you, man. Jeez, shit's blowing up here.
You told your cousin you'd be down there at the corner with the cocaine at 9:30, and it's usually-
Jesus, bro, if you're gonna do a hand to hand, you can't be late.
Right?
You're slacking.
Jeez, man.
Oh,
Woo!
this took on some weird shape.
Oh my gosh! Seriously?
Bro, when you want Mundo, you want Mundo. It's like a Kit Kat bar, you know what I'm saying? No, a Klondike bar. Like, what would you do
My
for a
gosh.
Klondike bar?
My shit is blowing up. Jeez, what the hell's going on?
Bro, answer that.
My God.
Answer that.
My phone had become more bipolar than my guys. Jeez.
Oh shit.
Jeez.
Wah, wah.
Louise.
Tower of
Wah, wah, wah,
Power.
wah, wah.
Oh my gosh. I might have to jump off and jump back on.
Okay.
Find out what's going on.
I'm gonna put the link.
Okay,
in the
guys.
chat
I'll see
too.
you in a few minutes. I'm gonna jump off and get back on.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Matthew,
Okay, guys. I'll see you in a few minutes.
You.
what is going on, buddy?
What's
Hey,
up, man?
sorry. Can you guys hear me?
Matthew.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
'cause I'm how are you guys? Good?
I think you have to lower
Doing
your
pretty good. Pretty
your
good.
volume,
Yep. Oh, okay.
your
Cool.
speaker volume.
I'm how are you guys? Good? Oh, are you guys getting echo? Oh,
Yeah, I'm hearing the
I actually
recording.
plug in. That should be better.
Cool. How are you on this fine day?
I'm okay.
What is a good word?
Oh, dude, I'm getting serious latency now. I've got interesting.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
if you experience something, you could pop back in. That usually fixes it.
Yeah, I'm gonna bounce and come back.
Okay.
And I'm back on.
Mundo.
Everything
My
good?
Gosh. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, man. Like I said, my phone ended up being more bipolar than my guys. Jeez.
I mean, how many people do you owe money to?
Feds coming?
Too much.
Feds
Hey,
on the way.
We're out in the driveway.
I don't know. Maybe somebody got mad at me because I didn't give him a shout out. I don't know.
You never know, man.
Oh.
It happens. It happens.
I don't know. I tried to give everybody a shout out as I could. So if I forgot anybody, please forgive me.
Let's not forget Matthew. He is coming back in here.
Yes,
How was
he
that now?
is. That's awesome.
Oh, Kev, I love what you're doing there. Those are the colors I love for holograms.
No,
Nice.
Sizzling.
Gem in the
Let me see if there's too much
holograms.
latency.
You still got it?
Yo.
You know what you could also do is give it a minute, because sometimes it kind of evens itself out after you are in there for like 2-3 minutes. You could see if that works.
Yeah, StreamYard is like acts funny sometimes, man. It just wants to be an asshole.
Like sometimes Kevin will appear badly at first, but then it smooths out and it's fine.
Yeah, and I'm too stubborn to back out and come back in, so I just let it do what it does.
It's so weird. Like, everything is echoing over itself, and I can tell it's late and repeating itself.
Oh.
Whoa. What
Yeah,
a
that
trip.
happens.
Check and see you don't have like
Over
a
and
window
over again.
open playing it back, Matthew, because that could cause a delay if you've got like a YouTube window open playing
I
the
don't
video.
think I do.
Yeah, that sounds nuts.
That's so weird. Okay, wait. Let me check now. Try to answer me as soon as I say this. I'm done.
Yep.
Yep.
Done.
I mean,
Oh,
you're coming nice and
It
clear to
tightened
me.
a little bit. So, like, let's see. I'm done speaking.
Now.
Yeah.
Oh, good. We're back. That
Yeah.
was really, really, really completely Lazako. Like, basically, all you guys were repeating yourselves over and over, but obviously you were not. And this is the only window I had open. So I was like, what is going on? Are you freaking serious? It was so
That's
odd.
happened to me a couple of times.
It was like it was caught in an endless loop with your voices, but I could see your guys' video completely out of sync with whatever new thing. So it was just repeating clips of you guys over and over. Like it would give 5 seconds of what both all y'all said, and then it would play that over and over and over and over. And I
I'm
was
glad
like,
it cleared up. I'm glad it cleared up. I'm glad it cleared up.
The Twilight
Stop
Zone.
it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. So not to totally intervene because it just so happened. I lucked out. I didn't even know you guys were live today, but so I just
I'm
finished
glad you came in.
I'm glad I came in. I finished the teaser if you want to try to play it live or if you, I mean, you don't have to,
you know
or
what?
you can do whatever you
That
want.
would be so sick, but let me just think. Because
It's not done.
I wasn't able to share the screen earlier because it wanted me to shut down my Google Chrome, and I wonder if I.
Well, it's all good. I'm just saying is now
Another-
you'll have one that you can look at it on your own, and you might be able to be like, oh, that's pretty cool. Now, I will say this really quick about it, and then I don't want to take up your guys. You got other things to talk about, obviously the drawing and everything, but so since you wanted the vocals a little bit different, now there's this big, what I like to call a pregnant pause in between a lot of the narration. And when you hear it, you'll know you either want to find a way for us to compress it or add in another line or something like that, something else to kind of make sure the narration doesn't look like it just falls off the map for 14 or 15 seconds. Because the way that you engineered it, and you're like, I want this to, you say this, then this happens. There's like 15 or 20 seconds in between some of those events. So
Okay.
it's sort of like the sun is gone. And then 12, 14 seconds goes by and the narrator says absolutely nothing. And it's like, how would I explain it? To be honest,
Like these are the things
it
that
makes sense.
are revealed in the reality of the situation.
You're getting my drift. Like, in other words, the original one that I sent you, I did that one because I knew where I would place the whole thing and just have it roll out. But since we changed it, because you said, hey, can you change it to some of these other things, and where you wanted it to be said, it's like it changes now the rhythm of everything, and it does seem weird. So again, it's sort of like this: the sun is gone. A distant voyage, something like that. And you're like, what just happened? You're like, okay, the sun's gone. You are too, apparently. We all learned something today. I think you did too. But so what could probably happen is you might want something like the sun is gone. And then do you remember how I had that other line in there? I didn't suggest it because I'm an idiot. I'm not trying to be weird to you either. I'm just trying to, give you the tough love, is when I said it's now become blah, blah, blah of ice. That gave enough time. And then I was able to say a distant journey, blah, 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 blah. Now what we may need to be able to do is go a distant journey that leads to another planet, a journey that led to disaster, something like that, because it will fill up the time. You'll see, but you
I got an
I'm trying to
idea.
get.
Maybe like
It'll be amazing.
add
It'll
the
be
line.
amazing.
Like you said, we like add a line over the instead of putting the rolling tundra of the frozen earth at the end, we could have it right after the sun explodes part. You have like a bit of the rolling tundra of earth, the ice, and then you could say something like, the
Oh,
earth.
no. That's not what I'm. Let me explain. You're
And
not
then we're
catching.
back up in space.
Wait. You'll just have to look at it and you will know exactly what I mean. But no, it has nothing to do with the ending. The ending is probably just fine. In fact,
No,
the latter.
What I mean is, like, we can utilize a scene of, because you were suggesting that we speak about the frozen earth. So I'm like wondering if, like, right after sun blows up, could we say something but also have the rolling ice, the earth and tundra, let's say, like over that or underneath that line that you're going to speak about, or the added line about, like, the earth is frozen now or something.
Well, yeah, that was just an ad lib that I had done earlier, but then you wanted to cut it. Well, anyway, just I guess I'm not explaining it the best way, but have a look at it when you get a chance.
Cool.
And then you'll be able to kind of make an assessment. But my personal thought process, when you see where the gaps are, it'll probably be something like that. A distant voyage was required, a distant voyage to a faraway planet, a voyage that ends in disaster, something to that effect, because that will stretch out just that moment of the ship showing up, the ground war being shown, cutting back to the ship, then the laser going, oh, what? You did not do that. And then they get hit and they're like, what just happened? Like, why are you firing on us? Is basically what's going on. But since that takes time to establish, before, all I did is do the vocals all straight out. And then when they ended, we waited for all the other action to happen until it goes Albatross, Junction. So in other words, where you've asked me to place the clips, because before I just had it going in order on my own. Now that you've asked them to be separated, you've separated them by 15 seconds or so. So it makes it unnatural. So you'll get my point. You'll get my point. What I'm trying to say is it's something that you wouldn't know on your own, but it's just more cinematic the way that I first proposed it. And now it's chopped up. Well, it's not necessarily jank. It is better in a way, because then what is being said describes the action of what's going on. But if you want that, then we need to describe every action to a point, to make sure that there's always narration going behind it, unless there's a special place where we're like, yeah, it makes sense cinematically that we don't need narration there. Like, for example, when the ground war is happening, it's so loud anyways with all the lasers and explosions, you don't need any talking in that particular moment. But what I'm overall trying to get at is you do not want 10 to 15 seconds of empty narration if you started with a narrator. especially
Yeah.
when we go, the sun is gone, and then 20 seconds or whatever goes by. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, where'd he
Well,
go?
I can't tell you how thrilled I am
I
to have
agree.
the narration, because I've seen some of the comic book, basically all the comic book trailers I've seen in the past 2 weeks. I maybe seen like 8, don't have narration. So
Right.
I'm really, really happy to have narration. So it's going to be great. Like, I think, when we get it right, it's going to be a real big plus that we have your voiceover.
Oh no, I appreciate it. And I mean, really, what I'm also doing is I'm not doing anything super like, oh, I'm so talented with this. What I'm doing is, but it is the kind of specific thing where everything is dramatic. It's more of a Duke Nukem style. John St. John, by the way, that's the actor
No,
or
but
the
it's great. It's great.
voiceover guy. Because there's other ways to do it too. You can even have a female narrator. It really depends on what's going on. Oh, cool. Gina Ziegler says that's looking good.
Thank you.
Shout out to Gina.
Shout out to Gina. We work with Gina.
Shout out to
She's
Gina.
awesome. Primal Gamer says, I like the colors, very vibrant.
Yeah.
Thanks. And I vote for straight up cheese pizza, Primal. I hope that's what you want. Hope that's what you want.
I did the pepperoni earlier today. And I had 2 of them. They were in the freezer. 2 of them. One said gluten-free and one said, regular. So I, of course,
Extra
went
gluten?
for the regular. I went for the regular gluten, extra gluten.
So you even the gluten out?
Do you have like a gluten allergy then, Anthony? Or
No,
'cause
I just
do.
kind of, sometimes I'll try to buy like vegan stuff sometimes, or gluten-free stuff. Or Kevin's got the gluten problem. He kind of needs to stay away from that. But for me, I can kind of eat whatever I want.
Pizza knocks me out. I eat pizza and I'll just I pass out. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild. Pretty wild.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Happens when I eat too much sugar. I pass out.
Just pass out. I can't stay awake.
Get that
Yeah.
diabetic coma going on.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that too is those high chain sugars, like anything with high fructose corn syrup in it, or even like, again, the gluten, the things that have all those super high chain it sounds ridiculous. Maybe everybody's like, oh, you're such a nerd on science, but hey, we're on a science and space thing, so it's relevant. It takes a lot longer for your body to break those down. If it's just regular, plain old school sugar, it really shouldn't be that much of a problem. Granted, you don't want too much of it, but the point is high fructose corn syrup, which is pretty much everything these days. Even when they say sugar on the label, they can get away with it not being that. It's HFCS, but it makes your body tired because it's working so hard. It'd be like really, it's actually a good analogy when you go to a higher altitude and then you're like, oh my God, like I can't even walk 25 feet. Why is that? Am I out of shape? You're like, no, you're at 3,000 feet and you're used to being at sea level. You can't see it, but it's different. The air that you're breathing is much more difficult for you to do it. You can't see it. You cannot see it. Just like you can't tell your body is working harder to digest high fructose corn syrup in whatever, pizza, cereal, energy drinks versus a banana or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's there you go. Nova Star / Matthew / Diamond Dragon guy's little tidbit on health habits or whatever. #random.
Random is good. I support random.
Well, that's good because that's all my life has been for the last 3 or 4, 5 months or whatever.
Random.
Things always get better. Random is good because things can come out of random.
It's always random.
Oh yeah, so Kevin, how's all the drawing going? Pretty good.
Slowly.
I think that depends on your definition of slow, man. Because if I was trying to draw anything, there is no way I would be able to complete as many drawings as you seem to complete in such a short amount of time. I have no idea. No idea.
But I mean, this one's been lingering forever. This is like from the early days that we started on, and I'm still on it. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I have an appreciation for it.
Yeah, I got super ADD.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I have appreciation for it because just on my artists alone, like when Claudia delivered This is shout out to Claudia Bezak. If anybody wants to look up her work, she does some great work on lots of different little video games and stuff. But she's drawing for Diamond Dragons every now and again when I can grab her away, because she's got real work going on and I can only do so much. But anyway, I described to her the Dragon Castle. And what else can I really do? I couldn't really draw it for her. So I gave her a few examples from the internet where I'm like, it doesn't look like any of these things, but this will give you some input. And when she, sent a drawing to me, I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. It literally almost brought me to tears. I was like, wow. So like, I look at it like that's the way I look at when people can make art. And you guys probably don't quite look at it the same since you do it. Maybe the magic is like less magical. But for me, I'm like, are you a good witch or a bad witch?
That's kind of how I feel myself. I mean, and everybody's amazing in their ways,
That's a good point.
Kevin is in their drawings, but
it's true.
Kevin's got his paintings on top of the drawings for the comic book, and it's got the lightsabers on top of his drawings and stuff. And then you, Matt, I mean, everything on top of that, you got your Nova Star stuff, you got the Diamond Dragons, you've got your singing. I mean, everything, all of those factors that everybody brings to the table is just amazing. And I'm in awe. I mean, I don't even have a third of what you guys bring to the table.
I wouldn't say it like that.
That
I think
ain't
it's
true.
because everybody's
That ain't true.
different. Yeah, everybody's different. Not everybody is an artist anyways, too. Like, trust me. Like, I mean, a lot of times I'll talk to these people and you can tell they only do one or two things. And that's not necessarily bad because then sometimes you're like, wow, they're really, really, really good at this one thing. And then you meet other people who are like, I'll be honest, even with me, I don't consider myself good at almost anything, but I'm competent at a lot of different things. And therefore, it really does come to that not a jack of all trades, but jack of many trades.
That's my problem.
Absolute no mastery of one.
That's my problem.
What?
I mean, I cut hair, DJ, produce music, edit minimal edit video.
I'm not catching the problem.
But I should be just focusing on artwork. You know what I mean? My artwork would be, I think, 1,000 times better if I put that DJ hair cutting, editing video.
Yeah, but
energy into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then that would mean all those other skill sets would also reduce and maybe suck.
Yeah.
So, but I don't really need them.
Oh well, then
need them.
Go on with your bad self, man. I'm not stopping you.
I don't need them.
Yeah, I'm not stopping you. I'm just saying is if you want to continue to do those, like for me, I mean, look, I like to sing. I like acting. I like doing this VO work. Granted, if someone were to say, hey, we're going to give you $250,000, but you must focus on only one aspect of whatever it is that you want to do, I would have to choose Diamond Dragons. But the irony would be, well, then what aspect of it? Because of course, right now I'm writing it and I'm kind of coordinating the project and directing it and making these previs janky videos that sort of help. Like, so it's sort of like, well, what would that be? So it's sort of like everybody does have to do a little bit of everything. But I feel you, Kevin, where you're sort of like, it would be nicer maybe from your perspective if you could say, well, what if I focused 80% of my time on drawing, not 30 or whatever? I don't know, but I don't know. I would argue that
I mean,
just
do
only one thing.
Growing up would have been. I think growing up, like I was so scattered growing up that I would DJ. I'd be DJing a party on Saturday, then cutting hair all day Sunday, and like I would only draw like twice a month.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I get you. I get you now. I'm like #fair. Now I get it. Because before I didn't know what you were getting at, like if you're just saying right now. Because hey, I was the same way. Like when I was young, I didn't know what the hell I really wanted to do. I mean, I knew I was in love with things like video games, performance. I loved movies. I was very gregarious just from the get-go. So like acting and performance and theater and film, all those things seem to be on the docket. Certainly not becoming a lawyer or a carpenter or a janitor or a paperwork guy who specializes in writing documents for whatever. I'm like, no, this is not me. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I just think, everybody gravitates to whatever they do. Like Mundo, same thing for you, right? You shouldn't say that maybe you don't have as many skill sets, because then it's like, well, what if someone had 5 skill sets that they were all, we'll call them, they all had 10 points of skill in those. But then you have someone who has 1 skill and they have like 100 points of skill in that. You're like, whoa, you know, you're an awesome tennis player, bro. Like that's how it works too. Most professionals, they literally just go,
yeah.
Mundo has the only skill sets that really matter on Earth, man. Like if the end of the world scenario, you want to be Mundo.
Really?
He can survive in the woods because he can hunt, he can survive in the land. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I would die in the forest.
I love my land, man. I'm a hunter. I'm a fisherman. I mean, I love my land.
He probably knows how to catch rabbits and shit.
Got to set up a little lean-to with a stick on it and the bait, and
you'd be surprised what a little switch and a string will do.
No, I'm not surprised. I understand some of it. I wouldn't be very good in the wilderness, but I've always liked learning about all those things. Like I remember the thing about looking at the sun and the shadows to get at least a general, not only orientation of what time it is, but you could also find out what direction you're either headed or where, you know what I mean? Like it's really rough, of course. It's not like you can say, oh, you know, like some people joke about it going like, I can tell it's, 12:31 by looking at the sky and the rocks. You'd be like, no, but I mean, you would know like, hey, it's not 3 p.m. I'm pretty sure it's 1 p.m. right now, something like that.
Yeah, just depending on where you, and it's so easy to get lost in times, especially if you're in a thick brush. When you're in a thick brush, you can get lost and turned around very easy. You could be going.
You wouldn't even know.
Not even know. You wouldn't even know.
Exactly.
I was almost lost in a huge ranch. I mean, almost a 40,000 acre ranch.
Dangerous.
And I was almost lost.
Dangerous.
But I was smart enough to know exactly where a point was, where I knew my cousins and my ride would be, and to yell out so that they could hear me, and to know where they could find me. So
that's a good idea. Yeah.
And
I also heard about that too, is like one of the things I learned way back in the day, and it even gets echoed on, other TV shows or on the internet or things, survival guides, which they always say, whenever the moment comes that you're like, yeah, we're bloody lost. They're like, stop, take 15, 20 minutes, however long it takes you to make a really strong, intelligent assessment about what you're about to do. Because they always said the first thing that usually basically puts all the nails in people's coffins is they're like, oh my God, we're lost. Well, let's just go this way. Like that looks like the right way. And you're like, no, don't do that. Don't do that, because you might end up making the worst decision that literally is the decision that kills you. They always say that too. They're like the first 10 decisions you make when you discover you're lost usually sets the tone for, are you going to survive? And then everything afterwards, if you you're done. It won't matter what you do from then on. And you didn't even know it. You might even survive for 3 other days and you'll be like, oh my God, and you would never know. But then in the end, they'll be like, have the eagle's eye, and they'd be like, Matthew died because the very first thing he did is go completely in the opposite direction, thinking he was traveling south, and he went 6 times deeper into the worst, the crap. And if he had just literally had done it the opposite way, he would have found the road almost within 3 minutes.
Well, the good news is he wrote part 3. He wrote part 3 of Diamond Dragons in the Sand. So we do have that.
Have you ever seen that?
One of the things that I think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You ever see that study that shows how humans, when left our own devices in a big open field, we all just walk in a circle going left. We can't walk straight. We can't walk long distances straight. There's something about the way we're made up where we just walk in a circle going left. It's fucked up. That's fucked up.
I think it's because when you don't have orientation, where you don't have landmarks or something that you really hone in on and say, look, I got to make sure that thing stays exactly in this particular alignment, that otherwise when I'm walking, I'm going to be thinking I'm doing well. But eventually, you just find yourself either sometimes not even necessarily making a circle, but just a big curve. And then you think you were walking north for a long time. Suddenly you're walking east and you're like, what just happened? And you're like, yeah, man, that's why compasses were, if it was easy, we wouldn't bother with compasses. We would have been like, dude, I know which direction I'm walking. I don't need any device for that.
That's exactly right. And markers are very important. especially if you're walking without something.
Especially
like a
these like
compass.
Prismacolor ones that me and Kevin use are like really
Amazing.
And Ed's gonna use the lightsaber for a compass.
Oh,
I'm
oh,
gonna be kicked out of the show.
this is a good way to look
Yeah,
at
your
it.
own
Too.
show.
This is a good way to look at it. I used to explain this to someone else with, and this also has to do with firing sniper style weaponry. In other words, when you have a long distance to traverse for any given kind of linear path. If you imagine two lines starting at one point and one line is absolutely at 90 degrees, in other words, it's going to go absolutely straight. It will never deviate from that exact angle. It's at 0 degrees or 90 degrees, whatever. It's straight. But you're going to draw another line, and that one's going to be 0.001 degrees to the left. In the beginning, for the first 100 yards or whatever, it doesn't really make much of a difference. But then, compound that over time, and that one line that we were talking about over, like, say, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles or whatever, deviates so far off the origin that you're like, I can't even believe that's the same line, because they started basically as, here's 0 degrees and here's 0.001 degrees, which again, in the first 100 feet, it looks like the same line. It's the same thing. There's no deviance. But so imagine that's what happens with sniper fires. That's why they're like, you have to put it within the radius or the diameter of a dime, because if you're off even by slightly, like 0.5 degrees, your bullet is not going to just be, it'll be a few inches off the target. You're like, dude, you're going to miss by like about 30 feet. And they're like, how is that even possible? You're like, just do the math over time, son. You'll understand very, very quickly. You'll wonder why. How can I not hit this? I was so close to the center of the target.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't matter, because as soon as you're off by just a little, it magnifies it by like, crazy. Unless you're shooting at 50 feet. And by the way, the reason I even know any of that is with archery. Even archery, when I would get 50 yards away, it's getting to the point where, any small error, and I'm like, I'd fire and I'd be like, that's not good. And it would just wouldn't even hit the target.
Yeah, but you still have your variables. You got your wind speed, you got, all that different stuff, that jargon that nobody really cares about. But
and the archer's paradox.
Ed, can you hear? Just before I forget, I think we need to keep note of what we were just talking about, how like if someone on this frozen world that we're showing would have no real markers to like follow out in the wilderness, and everything's just frozen. So it's something to like keep in mind, like in the dialogue, like they can have a device, like something that just keeps them going the right way.
You know what?
Pretty smart.
That's a good idea, Kev, because you might want to have a marker to the ship.
Yeah.
So that
or you
that
just
way
set your own markers or some shit.
Yeah, they could set their own markers, but the main marker for the main marker will have where the ship exactly is. So if it gets
if they had like a big antenna that they put and like a beacon at the top of it, is that what you're trying to get at?
Yeah,
something like that.
That would be pretty cool.
Because that way, if they get lost or whatever, they can always go back to that point and know, okay, I'm here, the ship's below me, and now we can work from that point and get to point B.
Yeah, because you would get lost. I mean, it's dark, right? So if you go someplace where no one has been for years, it's going to be completely dark, and all you have is just like starlight.
Exactly.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah.
And if something's chasing you, you got to run.
Yeah, and also also, by the way, that actually
I love the brainstorming.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Kevin. I wasn't even thinking of applying it to this, because again, it's Albatross isn't like my story, but that's awesome. Like, it's a great idea. Brilliant idea, Kevin. Also, it's a good way of thinking of it by going, hey, that's part of what it is to do writing anyways, is to do some research depending on what's going on. Like in my case, since it's fantasy, I don't have to do quite as much, obviously. But if you guys are saying, well, we do want to leave this, that even though they're not technically humans, but we're leaving it as that they're in an environment where physics and landmass and planets all still apply, it's definitely a good idea to think, well, if you were on an icy planet, a deadly planet, something where it was, then what are all of these conditions that we would end up finding? Like, would people die of frostbite how would it transpire? Would it start to cloud? When is it that their mind?
Yeah. So we came up with a condition called, like, if you're out in the wilderness too long, and you know how everyone has these nanomites in their blood that kind of helps you survive because it heats you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, if you're out there too long, we call it like you're slipping. Like, well, this guy slipped. He's slipping. Like, you kind of like slipped off like reality, but you just like all you see is darker. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just go fucking crazy. Like how it pretty much happens like when you're out in like Alaska for too long and like everything is whited out. I forgot there was something that happens to you mentally. I forgot what they called it, but you just go crazy. So we came up with slippy. Yeah, basically.
It's funny you mentioned those things too, because even if you guys recall, and I don't know if this is maybe before y'all's time, because I forget. I know it couldn't be before Anthony's time too much, but do you guys all remember James Cameron's film The Abyss?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't. Oh, okay, cool. I wasn't sure because like I was already a young man. Anyway,
I was
dating myself.
junior.
Oh God, I feel so old. But anyway, they did several things in there. One, they trained everybody to be a real diver. And even though they didn't really use any real ocean stuff for the actual footage underneath.
Are you talking about the actors in real life? They trained to be a diver?
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Oh,
yeah.
dope.
It was hardcore.
Cool.
I mean, it was pretty serious too. Like they were like, look, no joke. And also I forgot what it was. There was a situation where one of them almost drowned maybe. And definitely that happened on Titanic. In fact, I'll transition back to this in a minute, but real quick. Oh God, I forgot the actress's name.
I couldn't believe when Leo died in that one. That was hard.
Stop it. But I mean, no. That's it. Kate Winslet literally almost drowned. So
Naked.
Props to her for making it through. Her dress got caught on some kind of gate underwater, and she couldn't get free, and it's pretty dangerous. But anyway, so going back to the Abyss, so they all had to train to become divers. They made that giant pool for them to do all the work in them. And they talked about real conditions. Two things mainly that you guys will remember. One is the breathing the water, which is very real. Like it's possible. It's just not ideal in the situation that they placed it in even then. And even today, they're still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to be like, can you breathe this saline, this sort of oxygenated water, and make it all work underneath deep hardcore pressures where you cannot go right now. So it's still being researched. They're not quite there yet, but it's 100% plausible. And it tests have shown that, yeah, you can breathe oxygenated water. In fact, think of it. I mean, some people think, oh, that's so out there. No, that can't be right. I'm like, you did it in the womb. So, it's a thing, but then there's the other side.
I love how they showed inside the helmet, how they put the water in the front of the helmet. And
and it fills up.
It was already, he was breathing regular air, but in the helmet, they had it to
I know what you're saying. They had two layers.
Blew it. Yeah, it was amazing because when he blew out, you could see the bubbles in the water, like he was actually breathing the water. Mm-hmm. How they did it was just amazing.
Yeah, it's all the nice Hollywood trickery of that kind of stuff too, because they needed the actor. They needed Ed Harris to have that one section where he's like, breathing. I love that too. And then he goes, and you see him start panicking, and they're like, this is totally natural. And they actually talk about, see, that's another thing. Like, that's why I always love James Cameron. He always, these attentions to real details that he tried to place into the film and make them dramatic moments. It's very true. Yeah. Like when they do tests that way, your instincts kick over because your body, even though you're like, I'm not drowning, I am not drowning. Then your body's like, you're gonna die. So you have to somehow get past that fear. And it happens to everybody, even if you've done it before. They said you go through basically the same things over and over again anytime you do the tests, and it's pretty jank. And they showed how they put the mouse in it. That's exactly how they've done testing before. So that mouse, even in the footage, as far as I understand, it really was going through that. It was breathing under. It was not fakery or anything like that. It was mouse. Yeah,
that
it was
I did not know.
Yeah, you'll have to look it up. I'm not 2,000,000% sure, but I'm pretty bloody sure. And then the last one, which was the most important because it was for I forget how do I forget that actor's name? He's so wonderful. The guy who played Coffee in it, at least is a character. It's he was also in the Terminator. He was Kyle Reese. But anyways, he ends up having, I forget his name. He's so awesome. Michael Biehn, thank you, because he also played opposite Ed Harris in The Rock. But anyway,
He's always in the James Cameron movies too, like right? He's
Yeah.
the Abyss. Then he took him into Aliens, right?
Yeah, and that's a great thing because he trusts him and he says this guy can play these roles. But anyways, Michael Biehn, he ends up having the pressure sickness. And at first, some people thought, oh, this was invented for this movie too. No one would ever have this kind of thing. And I'm like, well, it was exaggerated in the sense that he became almost evil and magically mean and evil. But it's a very real thing. It was the nitrogen sickness kind of thing. So it's not quite the bends, but it's like related to that where it makes you snap. So at first, some people thought that it was just exaggerated just for the film, and it was a little bit, but you can absolutely get this pressure sickness kind of thing that isn't the bends. It's here. Very scary. You'd have to look it up.
Also, kind of amplified that character's like natural like militariness. You know, he was kind of like high on testosterone. So then when he went crazy, he was like a maniac.
And I love that. That was a good way of introducing it and making sure the audience is going to buy this. Like, right, I remember how what was it? I forgot her name. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio. God, she has such a long name. But she's like, okay, Roger Ramjet, blah, 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 to him. And, he's always talking all military. But I love some of his deliveries on where he's like, you either do an about face or... And I forgot what the line is, but the way he was like stuttering and getting all that. And he's like, we're going to have to take steps. Yeah, we're going to have to take steps. And you're like, okay, you take those steps. It's great performance.
But their deliveries were great. We're right on cue pretty much.
You had a team of great actors in there. That was fantastic. One of my favorite lines of that whole thing too was where Ed Harris is on the box with Lindsay, his ex-wife, right? And he's like, "Okay, Lindsay, losing signal now. Got to turn you off." And she's like, "Oh, blah 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 blah. You weasel. Bye bye."
Yeah.
And then he's like, Then he's like, "God, I hate that bitch." And then the other guy's behind him, and he's like, well, I guess you shouldn't have married her, huh? And he's like this. And that's it. It's such a great way to deliver it to the audience that you're like, you don't know they're married, but he's like, God, I hate that bitch. He's like, I guess you shouldn't have married her. And he's just like.
Well, I love the fact that it didn't tell anybody, and the way it portrayed it, that they were not married towards the until the end. It was like, oh shit, you're like, they're married.
Well, they say in the beginning, but my point is they don't straight up say it until you hear that.
But if you're not paying attention to it, you'll miss that. And then through the whole movie, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even know they were married.
Yeah, I hope they wouldn't miss that line. That was one of the funniest ones. Well, I guess you shouldn't have married her. Yeah. So funny. Anyways, I've completely distracted everything, but yeah, that's the thing. So like, good idea, Kev, like to have, do some research on it. And like, I wonder who should do that. You guys should appoint Mundo, go do some research and find out what would happen if that, especially because you're like the tracker, dude. You got to give them all the hunting cues and what to draw and how to make a lean-to for the rabbit where you're like, this is how it goes. You put the stick there. It's got to be just barely, you don't want it to be knocked over by a squirrel. It's got to be like just right. Otherwise you're going to trap like a spider and you don't want that,
Well, here's one of the things I can be proud of. I mean, is that, I can come in and have an outside perspective of things when people get locked into something and they're like lost. Like, man, I've been sitting here, I'm stuck, I don't see what I want to do next, and blah blah blah. Like, what do you think? I'm not sure, but you might want to try it this way and see if that works for you. Right. I bring an outside perspective to something inside.
Right.
Yeah. And so to me, I mean, I'm a little proud of that I can become a certain perspective from an outsider part of it and just see what little bit I see what's going on and just kind of tune in, and then everybody else will go like, that sounds interesting. I didn't think about that, but now that you're telling me,
thinking outside the box.
Try to, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And let me ask you this too, Mundo. What would you say if you were stuck out in the middle of the wilderness and now you were at point blank? Like, in other words, you're like, well, I haven't started anything yet, but I now know that I'm going to be spending the night here and I'm essentially lost. I can't just run off to some shelter. What are the order? I mean, I kind of know some of these, but what are the order of operations that you would go? Because, you know, some people would say first get a source of water, then food, then fire, then this. What is it that you would begin with if you were like, yo, I just realized this very moment I'm going to be stuck here. I need to start these operations and in this order. What do you think?
He takes out his cell phone.
Yeah, I'll dance in the woods. No.
Yeah, you just do a little dance.
No, well, it would depend on exactly what kind of terrain I'm in, first of all.
But I mean,
You know,
let's
I'd
just
have-
say for all intents and purposes that it's relatively average, but you know damn well that when it becomes night, it's going to be cold. It's going to be harsh. You need to obviously have a shelter at one point of some sort.
Right.
It doesn't mean that you need to build a bloody cabin, but the point is you need to decide to go, I need a lean-to. Like, it might rain. You know that you're going to need food at one point too. Obviously you'll need a fire of some sort, this kind of stuff like
fire
that.
for sure. Fire for sure. That's
Would
the
be
most
number one
important thing, because with the fire, okay, that keeps a lot of things away. First of all, it's going to keep a lot of the bugs away for sure. Some of the predatory animals away.
They'll be like, no, thank you. They're like, I don't want anything to do with that. Exactly. Just by nature, they'll be like,
Just
nope.
by, yeah, they're like, yeah, I don't want to mess with that. That's
Yeah.
too much for me.
Yeah, because it's very foreign, right? I mean, fires out in the middle of the woods where normally fires wouldn't just randomly occur out of nowhere. Probably animals are like, what the hell is going on? I am not staying. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, you still have to be kind of like, on your toes about a lot of things. I mean, not only the predatory animals, not only what can bite your ass,
mosquitoes,
mosquitoes, snakes, scorpions. You have to be, in tune with what's around you at that point in time.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I mean. That's good to know. Is to say, in general, you would start with fire. To be honest, I agree, because that's what I've always learned. Is it's usually the first on the docket. Usually, I mean, there's some exceptions, but the point is, it's not the lowest on the list for sure.
Well, if I'm low on water, but I actually have water, then fire would be the main thing at first, because I still have a little bit of water just to ration out, like maybe a sip here, a sip there, just to but then after the fire, then comes the shelter. Then after the shelter comes the water. Because if I know that it's probably going to rain, it's going to get cold, I need that heat. I need that shelter to make sure that my body doesn't go, get cold or wet, and then all of that stuff on top of that.
It's funny you mentioned this. I want to just say this, a shout out for Kevin and Anthony for this, because you guys will like this. I forgot. You know what? I'm glad we had this conversation because it might help you guys. I always had an elemental look at it, and let me explain. That's why it's fun doing this with you, Mundo, because I'm like, ooh, I'm resonating with some things. You'll see what I mean. So check it out. What if in Albatross they have a certain saying that's sort of elemental to this? This actually relates to my dragon story too, but here it is: fire, earth, water, and air. So in other words, you go do fire first. The earth is building your shelter or whatever, right? Think of it like, your foundation, your earth. Then the water, like you said, now you need a source of water or something like that. And then air would be get to a high point so you can see around you and figure out, well, what else to do. But I always looked at it as an elemental response, because I always figured, if you have survival skills, it's one thing, but if you're actually out in the situation, you might panic and not remember things. So I was always like, I just think of the elementals and I'm like, okay, what order is it again? Okay, I'm like, that's right. It's fire, then earth, then water, then I got to get up high in the air and look around or whatever. And
maybe they use like a drone for that in our story.
They could, but or what I'm saying is, what if it was their mantra that they're like, remember the mantra that for us now that we're stranded, that if you ever get lost, fire, earth, water, air, something like that.
Yeah, that's cool. That's great, man. Matthew, that's awesome. And the way you think like that, because and Kev, that's cool, because what he's saying is like when they get, like you were talking about markers and stuff like that, if they get lost, they can actually make igloos. Like they saw pictures of Earth before it went to shit, and there's like, oh crap, we can make an igloo like they did in Alaska and the tundra. And all that stuff.
So me and Ann came up with a few ideas there where we have like wireframe igloos that kind of like heat up. So like picture like a wireframe igloo with a wire just heated, just pure
like a
heat.
giant toaster.
And, basically. So you like
I like it.
And because I mean you got to remember it's negative 150 right on average. So nighttime it gets up to like negative 200 damn near. Who knows? But also the nanotech, like the hemobites in your blood, there's security measures that everyone has. So like say if you have a security, like a gate with some certain type of security on it, if you approach the gate, the closer you get, the more it heats up. Because like if you run past the security gate, you'll like implode, but it'll just melt you away. So people get close to these gates because they get warm from the inside. But you also get kind of like fry your brain at the same time. So there's actually like a drug in our world. People like staying close enough where they just fry their brains up to be kind of like high in a crazy state. So you got some people who just toasted. Like they're literally toasted all day. But
that's pretty cool.
Frozen
like,
junkies.
Yeah, but we can play with
junkies.
the idea. If I'm going for a trip by myself, I can put up I can bring like some type of security instrument or something with me where if I'm getting too cold, I can set it up and just get close to it for like, and just like fry myself up from the inside to keep a little warm.
Yeah. No, I like that. You could even say, look at that. They could be, you'd call him, hey, look, that he's on ice, man. He's all icy, dude.
Yeah. I forgot what Ann said. Ann actually had a term for it. I forgot what you came up with, though.
Are you still there?
Being icy?
No, remember we guys kind of got high from being close to the security gates and they're frying from the inside?
Oh, yeah.
I'll be right back, guys. I got to go see Amanda about a horse. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Nice.
About a horse, right? Hey, Kevin got that one. See, can't get anything past that.
Man, I haven't heard that in a minute. That's crazy.
So, you guys ready to sing some songs of horror? Songs of horror.
Horror.
Right? Because it's pretty easy for people to be like, songs of horror. And you're like, wait, what? Horror. Yep.
Yeah,
well, there you go. So, Anthony, there you go. Did you get the link that I sent you? That way you can at least peek at it if you so wish.
Yeah, well, see, this is what I want to do. When I upgraded my computer yesterday or the day before, it put it into a certain mode, which is not letting me share the screen on this broadcast.
Well, you don't have to share it. You can look at it, is what I mean.
What I kind of want to do is I kind of want to like, because it's saying if I shut down my browser, I can gain access to the screen sharing again once I reopen the browser. So what I was thinking is, we will close down the show, but we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back for 20 minutes, and we're gonna watch the trailer. Kev, what do you think?
Yeah,
really want it. Well, are you sure you should? Don't you think you should watch it first in case you're like, oh, well, because to be honest, there might be like, I know I didn't put like some sparks in it that I would have liked. I didn't get there, but it's all like, now we're down to quote Ocean's 11, we're pins and floor sensors now. Like it's just simple stuff. It's not the bulk. Yeah. Like it's complete as like all the sounds are now basically there for the most part. Only small, tiny, minuscule things are missing, if at all. Really, all I can think of is the sparks. Oh, and like I said, the strange pregnant pause in between.
Right,
the sun is gone. We'll
take a look at. We'll maybe someone will have an idea.
Well, like I said, those are the two ideas. I think the best would be either for me to say all the stuff contiguously, and then at the end we hear Albatross Junction, or add in that little section where it fills in just enough to give you what you need. But yeah, feel free to do whatever you want, man. It's your show, man. You can do whatever you want. You know what I mean?
Cool. Primal Gamer says, if I were to cut out all my other activities like YouTube, video games, hanging out with friends, just to focus on art, I could be the best, but I wouldn't trade those things.
It's a really good point. That's kind of going back to that conversation we're having about like trying to focus on one thing, or do we focus on 8 things? But I mean, I even have to say too, being an actor, like, you still acting is not your only thing when you're an actor. Being a director is not only the thing, and being even a singer, it's not only the thing. You have to learn all these other weird skills. Like I'm even manipulating it with the singing. I have this microphone, which is not exactly like a $2,000 microphone or anything. You know, it's $50 from a vendor in the street, you know, but I take it, I bury it in the sand for 1,000 years. It becomes priceless, like the Ark. No, sorry.
And it just might.
I just transitioned into a Raiders of the Lost Ark line. But anyway, the point is when I'm recording my lines, when I'm recording vocals, when I'm doing singing, I have to edit it. I have to check. I have to make sure I don't overhit the mic and blare out everybody with distortion. And there's places where you get too soft. There's places where you're too loud, and you have to do all this editing. So it's kind of like all those things were required, just like I'm sure that Kevin and Anthony would agree that, you know, you guys are not just doing art, you have to do some writing. Obviously for Albatross, you have to do some level of like computer skills, some level of directing. Like you guys had to make storyboards to send to me to say, so Matthew, this is what I want, as opposed to just going, yeah, we want a trailer for Albatross. Go. Yeah. You know, I'd be like, what do you want? And they'd be like, I don't know, make it cool. Spaceships and explosions. Yeah. That wouldn't have helped, right? I would have been like, okay. And then I would have presented something. You'd be like, no, not like that. And I'd be like, well, how do you want it? Well, you know, spaceships and explosions, you know? So having to be a director and focus in on those things, like everybody needs a bunch of skill sets. And the question is, man, I guess in a bubble, it would be nice for us to all be able to focus exactly on the one thing that we want to do and pay everybody else to do all the other ones around us. But it's like, you're still going to be doing at least 5 to 10 skills, you know?
At least.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just, you know, averaging it. But, you know, that's the thing. I will say, you know, even for my own project, I'm super overwhelmed, you know, trying to direct, having input on the music, if not sometimes being the one who's comprising the melody before I've given it to my composer to arrange it. Like sometimes I actually am the composer, so to speak, but I can't make the actual music. But anyways, there's that, the writing, the editing, the pre-visualization things, the recording of the lines, the narration, doing the sound work. It started to add up, you know, where I'm like, oh my God, it's so
man, you need a break.
Well, it's not even that. We can't take a break if we want to move all these forward. Just like Albatross Junction, they can't say, hey, we're tired, we're not working. You know, it's like, well, if you want it to move forward, then you have to progress the ball across the football field every play. You don't want to zero out and then make a turnover. Now the other team has the ball.
No, but every team always has to have some kind of time to make a plan.
Definitely. Timeouts. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply saying that you still need to progress the ball. Sometimes timeout is progressing the ball. It's not, it's just more like whatever. But my point is, this is what I only have right now is it's almost like I'm playing all the roles on the football team. And it's like, dude, you cannot be QB, halfback, fullback, and and the coach.
You can't.
And the guy. You can't. Yeah, and the guy who paints all the lines on the field, you know. It's like, no. You know.
Yeah. Definitely need some help.
This page is looking pretty good. You see how icy they are?
Yeah, looking awesome.
Yes.
I want to take a close look at that in 1 second, Kev. I want you to explain what you're doing, and we're going to actually transfer to another show. Valdark 2 says, and that's not to mention coordinating actors and crew.
Game right. Game right.
Yeah, Gene Raid, man.
I'm serious.
For sure.
But Kev, tell us about your wonderful, look at this wonderful artwork. It feels a little dark on my screen, but like you can.
It is dark. It's very dark.
That's okay.
So like the last hurdle I had to get over was making everything look cold. You know what I mean?
Oh, sure.
So this is kind of like the look I came up with, where like just having them flat, just having them flat colors like this just doesn't make sense to me. In like, you know, negative 150, like things are gonna freeze over in a short distance. Like if you walk 10 feet, I mean your shirt's gonna get icy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, little icicles and little bits of
definitely.
Over water.
So this is the pen I came up with to kind of add that kind of frosted look to guys. Right? I think it's gonna work.
That's pretty cool, right? They'll be like, hey, will you brush all the frosted flakes off me, man?
Yeah, put a bunch on his beard. Put a bunch on Dobbs' beard.
He's got a ton on his beard. His beard is all frosted out. His skin is too.
So wait, and
yeah.
this is his is he in a space helmet at this point? And you're like, no, not at this point.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Not
so
at
he's
all.
in
The only
Screw
thing-
City.
The only thing missing is he has these orbs that kind of follow him that he can manipulate, and while he's outside, they kind of become like little mini suns. You know what I mean?
Copy that. That's cool. But yeah, another thing you
Yeah.
can do is you could put an overall glaze of haze over everything so that it looks like not only breath that is
I'm
gone.
gonna do
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm
Definitely
saying.
do
Is
that.
like, yeah, because to be honest, I did some of that in your guys' video. Although the irony is, because of my janky program, well, to some extent, it's just like I have some limitations on some of the things that I wanted to do, but that's okay. It's just because of us trying to get this done in a proper, well, not proper, but a quick fashion, but good. You know.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, this is pretty dope.
So like,
Oh,
I'm gonna do
Oh, I like
something
that.
like that,
Right.
and then just
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
peel it
And
away.
then- yeah, and then you
Yeah,
got
now
you
that
could,
makes
you
sense
could
right
play with the
there.
opacity and everything, and like you could do two
Yeah.
layers, and you know, you can imagine.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Just haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, I love it. And actually, that makes it a lot more sense to me too. That because it was a little too dark before, by having the ice layers in there, it makes it a little bit stronger, so they pop out, and we don't miss the wonderful details that you're drawing into it. You know, even though I love that. Like, I mean, sometimes you're like, hey, the point is we're trying to show it's not bright as hell out here. It's really dark, and it's always a problem. And even in actual filmmaking, when they want to shoot a scene that takes place at night, it can't be realistic. And people will say, what are you talking about? This scene in the movie is blah, blah, blah. I'm all, they have to light the actors in a real
I learned
sequence
that
at night.
Yeah,
you
I
wouldn't
learned that
see
in
anything at all.
Car Interiors. Car
What's that?
Interiors taught me that.
Say again?
How they always have like a bright light in a car interior shot.
Oh, car interior, right? Yeah, there's a bunch of
Yeah,
invisible
yeah.
things that nobody ever sees, and that again comes back to the whole thing is you don't have to show the audience what they don't need to see, and if they don't see it, then it doesn't exist from their POV. It's only from directors. Like again, the boom mic, it could literally be just hanging right out of frame, or you know, you could have some dude throwing snow. You know,
Yeah,
zing, zing, and it's just floating on down. You'll never know that there was some dude with a bucket just going.
They just throwing the shit.
Yeah, and I mean, because you go, well, does it look real enough? And everybody's like looking at the shot, and they're like, yeah, it looks like real snow to me, even if it might be paper or whatever else. You're like, as if it looks real, it is real. It's that simple, you know. Very ironic too, because a lot of things they even talked about that too. Some things that look and sound realistic, it doesn't read. I'll give you an example. I might have even said it on some previous shows. Did you guys know that even to this day, when they do like bullet fire, it's not a real sound anymore?
No, it can't be. Yeah, it can't be.
Well, sometimes there's probably some films where they're like, yeah, we're going to keep it. But for example, like when they show like a high powered machine gun, to this day, they still have it where it's like, and most of the high powered machine guns of now, they literally just their rate of fire. There's so few gaps in between each actual bullet fire. And this is something my roommate back in college taught me when he was in Iraq. He's like, dude, these big ass machine guns that we have, he says, you got to get over yourself for a few minutes when it first fires. I'm like, why? He's like, I'll give an example what it sounds like. And he's all, I'll be in there. Takes a lot of people to run this gun, but it'd be like,
Yeah.
and everybody just starts laughing. And he says, then freaking, you know, our sergeants and colonels, they're like, shut the fuck. What do you think this is, man? This is $1 million machine. What do you think this is? Just fun and games. Stop laughing. I know it sounds goofy, but the reason that is because that's what happens when you have this much air between each, you know, bullet fire. And it's amazing where he's just like, yeah, like I could just line up a stream of bullets. It was almost like a hose, you know, at one point where we're just tearing apart things with this. And he's all, and most people don't know that if they see high powered guns in films, the rate of fire is just totally wrong, dude, because it doesn't sound right. It sounds so stupid, you know?
It does.
So yeah. In fact, they even said, even for like Indiana Jones's revolver was actually a shotgun. It was a Browning Weston or something like that. It was a shot. It was a shotgun, you know, and you're like, the pistol doesn't sound like that. My God. It's ridiculous.
No, and I've shot plenty of pistols to know that on different movies, it's like,
I bet.
really?
Yeah, well, again, we're not talking about reality. In fact, my biggest way of saying
No.
to film is it's not actual reality, it's the illusion of reality.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
and-
people
and
don't
see-
die from this bullet, or a lot of times they'll get shot in the arm, and what do? They get up and they're like, "Ugh," and later you see them kind of picking something up with their left hand, and they're showing effort, but you're like, dude, no way, your arm would be useless, dude. You would be so useless at that point. There is no way you're picking something
Well-
up when you just got shot in the arm. It's
Not
pretty
only
unlikely.
that, but the shock value after you get hit. It's like if anybody has seen, okay, this is coming from a hunter's perspective.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I know where you're going.
and me, I've killed plenty of deer to know that when a deer gets hit, it jumps, the shock factor goes in, it's running, and it falls.
And then
and
it's
it
like,
doesn't know exactly. It's like
what happened? Yeah.
You know, but you get that shock factor, it's like, dude, what just happened? Like, you're not gonna move. You're
The
not
blood
gonna
loss
move.
alone. The blood loss alone is going to make it really different, because people think, oh well, in the movies, if you get shot in the arm, then only that left arm is kind of jank, and you'd be like, well, see, there's this thing called blood pressure, huh? And they're like, oh yeah, right. So trying to stand if you're literally just basically bleeding big time, you're like, well, good luck on that blood pressure thing, so. But again, it's movies, what do you expect? You got to have someone get shot 3 bullets and they still survive, Well, I mean, unless they're the Terminator, and then you have good reason. You're like, yeah, that's cool. Machines. No, that's a good example of when you go like, okay, it's totally passable. But when they have regular human beings and they're like, oh, yeah, come here, I can do it. Charles, get the thing. We got to get on the helicopter. And he like literally goes all the way back. You're like, oh my God, he's Superman. Awesome. Got it.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah,
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. Go now. Get to the chopper.
And that's one of the things I tell people is like, don't be too critical. Don't be too,
of course,
like
not.
Real life. Because I mean, it's not. I mean, it's supposed to look real, but it's not real. And if you take it literally, you will not enjoy the movie as much as you could, as much as you could have.
Yeah, or unless you're just saying, oh, well, that's interesting, but going back and thinking, you're like, oh yeah, that is unrealistic, and you just sort of have that balance. Like, for example, I love watching all the channels that kind of pick movies apart for their illogic or gross implausibilities, or things where you're like, that's completely ridiculous. That guy just pulled out this weapon and fired literally 65 bullets, and that clip only has whatever, and it's fun for me to see it, not because I'm like, what a stupid movie. It's just interesting to be like, oh yeah, that's right, there's no way that guy could have done that. It's literally impossible. Or there's sometimes they'll point out facts where they'll be like, so here in the 11th hour, character X, we'll call him Jimmy comes back to the scene and saves the day. Well, how did Jimmy know that Mark and Tammy were there in danger? Because no one tells him that they are. Remember earlier when they said we're going off to one place, but they ended up somewhere completely, absolutely, utterly different. But then he just shows up. How? And you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like, there's no way that guy would know to be there. It's like not possible, where like even off camera, you'd be like, well, could he have? No, there's no way he would know that. And I think they even did that with Iron Man or something. They said like, how did Iron Man know this? Or Captain Marvel shows up and they're like, wait, but how would she know? But you're like, because movie. Yeah, that's why. Because movie.
I'm going to show my my image I was working on here, and then we're gonna wrap up and come back to watch the trailer. So this here is these astronauts are out by the sun satellite in the previous page 25 on the left, and what they've encountered is some space debris which like pops the astronaut, kills him and sends him back, and it's just left with few panels at the end here, which actually more astronauts are going to die And it's
I can
just basically
understand.
going to leave them with 2 astronauts that have to do this task. So 7 astronauts turns into 2, and that's the way that they actually do get it done, but they lose a lot of people there.
Copy
So
that.
I'm getting into that scene, kind of starting to pencil that scene the way that's going to be.
I dig it. I totally understand that kind of philosophy too, where like, it's like, yeah, someone gets a hole in their suit and this thing happens to this person and and you're sort of like, and then there was one. You're like, whoa, 10 little Indians, so to speak. An old Agatha Christie book, which probably now is not PC, right? They'd be like, you can't call it 10 little Indians. I'd be like, well, that's what the name of the book was from Agatha Christie like 1 billion years ago when she wrote it. Okay, maybe not 1 billion, but Yeah.
All right, this is what we're going to do. Matthew sent us a trailer for Albatross Junction. I didn't look at it yet. Matthew's the only
Shout
one
out to Matt.
really looks like what it really sounds like. What we're going to do is we're going to come back in about 10 minutes because just for computer reasons, I can't share my screen right now. I'm going to have to close this down, close down my browser, probably take 8 or 10 minutes, reopen it up. I'll send you guys a link again because it'll be a different link. And we'll watch the trailer together and we'll see what we see. Maybe we'll, stay on for 15, 20 minutes talking about it.
Yeah. So Valdark, Primal Gamer, Gina, y'all come back, you hear?
That's right.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Valdark 2 says, nice panels. Thank you so much.
Nice pants.
Thanks, Valdark.
I might not be wearing pants.
we will close this down. Thank you for being here. Thank you to anyone who will watch the show and the recorded version. And we will be back in about 10 minutes right here on Comic Book Creation Live. We're going to watch the first. Well, it's the second teaser trailer for Albatross, but it's really the first true trailer. So come back in about 10, 15 minutes and check that out.
And bring a friend. Everybody bring a friend. Everybody's got to bring someone else back to watch.
That's right. Bring them all back. Bring them all back.